It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is taken at his 4. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. And a look here at their go-to guy under center. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
And to give this time to the tailback. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. At 5 yards on the play there, the drive will continue. Faced with their first 3rd down conversion opportunity and able to punch it through and pick it up on the ground.
And to me, doing it on the ground sends a different type of a message than throwing the football. And, you know, let's face it, we've done a lot of games together. How often have we seen 3rd down turn into an automatic passing down no matter what the yardage?
Yeah, and last thing you want, that opening drive to go 3 and out. You got everything scripted, lined up. Let's get some points. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Christian Covington, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 3 yards on the pickup there, and they've got it back to 3rd and 10. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. He'll drop to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. And now out comes Houston. Very tough spot here for the offense to start. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep. And on the first play, they gave up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards on first down. That's what they talk about us all the time, about being ahead of the chains or on target, ahead of schedule. They were after that run.
Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or two short here with third down coming up. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
On first down, Watson. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was the strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. To throw on second is Watson. He's got it complete to Braxton Miller. And down he'll go at the 25. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on third. A shotgun snap for Watson. A bullet throw, but incomplete. The Texans send the punter out as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Fielded at the 20. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Bengals will take over here first and 10. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be second and 11.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Here we go now. Green 39.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Can't get away, and he's taken down. Well, it was second long, now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Underneath here to Hill. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It's a pickup of 13, but they're still a bit short, and it'll be fourth down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Here's Kevin Huber now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. As we take a look at the playoff picture, and certainly a lot of jostling still to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
Yeah, exciting for us because we get to talk about it, and, you know, at the end of the day, 6 teams are going to go from each conference, and guess what? We're going to have a playoff. But nerve-wracking for all the people involved, all the teams, because their goal is to get there. And anything less than that makes the season a disappointment. So they've got to be primed now for a big finish to their season. What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves them with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And this is going to be incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And this will be taken at the 13. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And this is their 3rd drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a 2nd drive, no 1st down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 15 carries, 71 yards.
After the last game, they have plenty of reason to be confident in their running game. And even though they're facing a top 10 defense, they're not going to shy away from doing what they do best. Make them adjust to them. Make them stop what they do before they go to any type of a change-up.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
Coverage was excellent downfield. I think he was more throwing that football away than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely, because everywhere he looked, they were covered.
Sometimes it's better to go ahead and be convinced that there's no place to fit in the football than to go ahead and force it and turn it into a bad play.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Play action is supposed to be used to slow down pressure, slow down blitzes. In this case, though, if it takes a little too long to develop, you got people right in your face.
And lucky just to get rid of the ball with the arm going forward. Could have been a fumble. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to make it 4th down. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. He'll look to set up his blockers. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, Everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Give them a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. 0-0 our score. We're back to Houston in just a moment. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out.
Here we go! 38!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Now a handoff as they run left side. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
Watson now to throw. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. And now following that sack, looks like we've got an injured man down there on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal?
Here we go! 1-9-5!
Out of the gun, Watson. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be 4th down. The Texans send the punter out as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Going to throw right side here, complete. A Bengal first down on the 16-yard pickup there.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? They go play action here on first down. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Meanwhile, checking in on what's going on in Baltimore. It's the Colts in that one that have grabbed the early lead. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. Now a play fake here on first down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll make it a second down.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
Play action. They'll throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
The Bengals on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. Back to throw here. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. And now here's a carry heading left. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point, you've got to win at the point of attack. And on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
Now a handoff looking right. And a short gain here down to the 22. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
Well, they've certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain, but I wouldn't have been...
And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Randy Bullock now as he'll go for the field goal. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. Nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
To throw is Watson. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Well, free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14. Under 4 to play now. Clock running, 3rd down.
Here we go. 1, 9,
Watson. And that is incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
The Texans send the punter out. He's been terrific so far. This is taken at about the 14. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route, the drag, and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. First down, he'll drop to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Christian Covington in there to take him down and to take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll check in with Larry Ridley for highlights and analysis of our first half of play. Now, not too many highlights yet, at least in terms of scoring plays, that is.
Yeah, but hang in there. We might get something these last 2 minutes.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
.44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. Oh, look at that. Oh, and now he bowls him over. It'll be a 41-yard punt. Give him 5 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down.
Here we go. 38.
second down. Here's Watson. Jackson's got it over the middle. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. Here's Watson. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. On first down, it's Watson. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Now Watson. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down. So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. From the gun, here's Watson. And he fires one, but incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
He's got Thompson here, complete. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. That one good for 7 that time. And the Texans are going to have a first.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart. Yeah, even for a talented receiver, those are tough to hang on to. Here's Watson now on second down. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it, and the Bengals grab it. He's got the lane, and there he goes. The 20, 10, and he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Around the NFL, we've got a second quarter score. It's the Colts in that one that have grabbed the early lead. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Fairly short kick taken at the 14 here. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front as we send you on over to Orlando, where we'll check in with Larry Ridley. He's got our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Okay, Brandon, thanks, and welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get to the highlights. Both the Texans and the Bengals haven't figured out yet how they're going to move the ball through the air. The defenses on both sides have kept points off the board, and it will be interesting to see if they can keep that up. All right, let's roll those highlights. 1st and 10, defense will get to the QB here. This ends up as a loss of 9. Now 2nd and 8, Vanderbilt's going to take down the QB here. This ends up as a huge loss in yardage. Bengals take it early in the 2nd. Sanchez is able to zero in on the QB here. This will go for a loss of 8.
Okay, Larry, back here, 7-0 our score as we ready ourselves for this second half. This one taken just inside the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Deshaun Watson of the Texans offense trot back out there. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try to protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
And I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Ends up a nice second down for them.
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his. We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Let's go. 190.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And now running right through it. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says try something different. Try some specials, something they haven't seen all day to try and get this offense kick-started.
The Texans on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun, Watson. Hard throw, incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
The Texans send the punter out as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard. They're going to look to throw. That is incomplete. The Bengals on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. He'll drop to throw. And unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a first down. Instead, it's 4th.
I wonder, Brandon, I just wonder, you think maybe he was worried about where he was on the field? Was he far enough? Was he close enough to the first down sticks?
Absolutely. He was right there by him, and I think he was thinking first down before he caught that football.
Yeah, got to catch it first, because if you don't catch it, there's no chance of picking up a first down.
running now is Huber as he sends it away. Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. A check of the scoreboard there in the third in Baltimore. And it's the Ravens that have moved out in front. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. They'll run it now out of the gun. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. Now Watson from the gun, he'll throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Incomplete pass on second down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on third.
Here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
I think I saw a lot of shoulders just drop there. And what I mean by that is they finally were able to relax a little bit because that was an important play call. They needed to pick up that first down at this stage of the game.
Yeah, couldn't afford another quick drive and out. Now a first down throw, Watson. And that is incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson. Miller on the catch over the middle. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup. Nothing flashy there, the slant to the slot.
Oh, and the frustration for the defensive guys because it's a quick play. And you know it's going to be a bang-bang play in terms of the throw and the catch. And he's able to absorb the contact and complete it.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Now a handoff here to his running back. Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll go down at the 28. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Watson on first down. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Jackson. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, they're certainly running the ball pretty well on this drive, and all I remember as a secondary guy was if you're making a lot of tackles in a game, that's usually not good for your defense. You've got to figure out how to keep things in front of you because you know there's 3 levels, defensive line, linebackers, and into the secondary. And if the 3rd level is leading your team in tackles, as a general rule, things aren't going so well for your defense.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. To throw on 2nd is Watson. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So that one a long 11-play drive, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. Fielded about a yard deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. But you got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going into quarterback in an expected passing situation.
They'll set up a throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And a give this time to the tailback. And he's going to take it down to about the 35 here. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, you got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They'll set up to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another 1st.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
To the fourth quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. 7-7 is our score. Pretty even matchup so far as we start quarter number 4. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 16. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, they thought they were going to break the tie. The defense had other plans. They were already in field goal range, but boom, an interception.
I don't know if this was a case of being a little bit too greedy with the opportunity to put points on the board, but give credit to the guys on the defensive side. Hung in there, battled, and made a key play.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. Now it's Watson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Brings it up just shy of the 25. Showed some of that quickness there on the move. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll bring up a third down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on third down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Bengals have recovered it.
Well, so much for the 4-minute offense. They were trying to reduce the clock, get in position to win the game, and leave no time for them to come back and catch them. And guess what? They turned the ball over. Yeah, I mean, they had it all set up for themselves, and they let it get away.
The Bengals getting set to go. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. Just they move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Now they'll run on the draw. And a good run as he manages 7 yards down to the 17.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
Now back to throw. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
A fresh set of downs, and they're at the 1. First and goal. As they run the counter play. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll in fact tackle him behind the line.
But that kind of loss of yards, that is usually an error by the guy carrying the ball. At the 1-yard line, you can't get too fancy there. You just got to try and plow forward and get what you can.
It's just a disaster. You go back to the 6 after you were at the 1. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. A great play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Bengals have taken the lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken just inside the 10. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. And now out comes Houston. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
Come on, let's go. White, nine.
Out of the gun, Watson. And he fires one incomplete. They were trying to get the connection with a former Buckeye, Braxton Miller. And it's 2nd down.
You know, every time we talk with people about the most important quality for a quarterback to have in the NFL, what do they usually cite?
Arm strength.
Yeah, and that's really way down on the list. Accuracy is one of the bigger ones, maybe the foremost one. That's what he needed on that play.
Let's go. White, nine.
On 2nd and 10, Watson. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
After that incompletion, I almost get the sense that he's going to look up at the booth and kind of look at us and say, hey, you guys got any suggestions? It's been that kind of game, hasn't it? They've had him on the run throughout.
Yeah, and I get that you're trying to make a play here losing fourth quarter, but to throw when you're not set with pressure coming could have been an interception.
Very much so, and it's been that kind of game for him. They've had him on the run, had him off balance. He's got to find a way to make some big-time throws down the stretch.
Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
The Texans send the punter out as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Ross.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
Trailing in the fourth, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
They'll look to throw here on first down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards that time and a Cincinnati first down.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for him there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They got to go thank the guy.
Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Treston Dacoud picks it. Well, they're not making it easy on themselves here down the stretch. 2 picks now in the fourth quarter, trying to hang on to that lead.
Talk about keeping someone in the game. Instead of being able to shut the door, it's still cracked open because they can come back on you now. The only people who are really happy about those picks, any fantasy team that has this defense.
Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that. Yeah, there was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
Come on, let's go!
Here's Watson. Throw left side complete. It's Fleming. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Come on, let's go!
On first down, Watson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Fleming. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18. 18.
And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't
when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. This guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Here we go. Brand 38.
Watson looking to throw on second down. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a first and goal. He'll look to throw, and his throw here is incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
It makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. He went backwards 7 yards, setting up a tough third down. They'll look to throw. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's fourth down. What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
Desperation time. Watson on fourth down. And that is incomplete. They can't hook up here on the fourth down pass attempt, and the Bengals will get the football back. Well, their first fourth down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any fourth down stop is a big momentum play.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Second down following the run. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Now the Bengals on third down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 7. Looking to throw. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. The Bengals go down to a knee in the victory formation. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. Now, the Bengals on third down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you prime the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Cincinnati, the final 2 weeks are going to tell the story for them as they move to 9-5 with the win. And they will head home next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for Houston, they'll drop to 9-5 on the year. And they'll be off to Minneapolis next week for a look at new U.S. Bank Stadium and a date with the Vikings. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. So long, everybody.